How's it going, y'all? It's your boy Kai from the Dueler Cypher. We got my boy Zach here today. Tell us what you did, baby.
We finished third place at the GOO 3v3 case tournament in Knoxville, Tennessee. I played with Rain Griffin, Austin Long, and I played Rescue Ace. Shout outs first off, Dueler Cypher channel, my home store TTD, my test partners, Elijah Green, obviously my teammates, Austin and Rain, Kai, Joe, everybody else knows who they are, but we'll jump right in. List is pretty standard at this point. 3 airlifters, the main starter of the deck, the 2 hydrant. I prefer playing 3 impulse, 1 engine. This is kind of the big debate in the deck. I like having all of the additional names. For me, I never want my my emergencies to be dead. So it's a pseudo defensive card. It's a pseudo engine card. I use its normal summon effect to just blank a card on the field more often than I actually use the in-hand effect. Mm-hmm. The card has, the deck has like 7 1-card starters, but it has like infinite 2-card starters. So you can pretty much get there through any one hand trap. It's just super consistent, and I like having the additional names. Even if you get like drolled and you end super subpar, having this will just let you kind of build a wall and stay alive, as well as play through evenly matched. You know, it's big quotations there. It gives you a fighting chance through an evenly match. The 4 big guys, 2 turbulence, 2 preventer, super standard. That's the main monster lineup.
We don't be playing the attacker no more?
No attacker. There was a time where we were trying to like discard the Bellstar on our opponent's turn off of attacker to like bring the Bellstar back, set a card. So then we would like +2 hand traps and then start our combo a turn early. But nah, the engine just comes up so much more. The defensive monsters. Shout out Kai for letting me borrow these.
Sheesh.
Yeah, no explanation, just probably the best, most generic hand traps. I say that, I felt like I cited this out every single game. I played a lot of off meta, and the meta I did play seemed to be like Unchained, and I don't think that's particularly great into Unchained. But
see, I am on Team Valor hater.
You're not a yeah.
Everybody's a Valor fan. I'd rather just impermanent.
It wasn't good. It wasn't good this weekend. I'm gonna be honest.
Kroll Kroll or Drill. Realistically,
I think this is just the most generic. It's not once per turn. I think you kind of have to play it, but dude, I cited it out a ton. The rest of the engine, obviously, the Bellstar cards, 2 witch, 3 wanted, 1 original. I play 2 witch. Some people are on 1. I just never. I don't know. It comes up, it gets banished off of like Druis and Mag. You know, they'll start getting their turns going a little early on you, and when this gets banished away, it like super hurts. I always just want this to be live. So I like playing 5 of everything. I think 5 is like a really good ratio for me. So if I have an opportunity to play 5 starters, I'm typically going to do it. But yeah, this went really well for me. It just makes the lean lines go crazy. It makes dark super easy. Obviously, it's a starter.
Yeah, I think this engine is crazy.
Yeah.
I think Agov really came out with some busted 5 to 6 card engines.
Yeah.
It's like this is either a second Sark with 1 Sark, like same with the Horus package is 5-6 cards of just bonkers.
When it gets better.
And then this deck with Populous and all that shit.
It's gonna get better.
Oh,
so,
God.
Really big fan of this engine, obviously.
You're gonna see that shit in the Fire Kangs.
And then the 1 rescue spells, and then the 3 obvious emergency.
That urgency, baby.
Yeah, urgence. Everybody knows what these do. Pretty standard ratio there. So you can play into Droll. That's all that's good for. Imperm. Book of Eclipse.
Them things ain't got no names on them.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah, man, I felt like my defensive slots were like generic, and in theory they were like totally good, but they just did not do well for me. This got ashed every time I activated, I felt like. I don't know. Yeah, the defensive slots got sided out a lot. I played Vanquish Soul. I was under Shifter every time I had Droll in my hand. This got ashed every time I tried to activate it. Yeah, it was a weird tournament. I mean, I did fine. I think I only lost twice, and those were R2 losses. Every time I lost, the team, those were the team losses. So it kind of came down to that. But yeah, man, they just kind of always had the hard counter for my defensives, which was tough. But I mean, in theory, I probably wouldn't change it. I'll probably change this. But I mean, Ash, Baylor, Imperm is probably mandatory. The 2-1-0s.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
How do you feel about like droplet nib?
So I've never liked nib. And maybe it's a skill issue. I just don't know how to use that card. But like it just feels like everybody I've ever dropped nib against, I've managed to do it at the wrong time and lose the game. So I almost never play nib. But like droplet was originally what Eclipse was. So I originally had droplet in the main. It was a quirky way to out cats. It was, it offered a lot of cool like quirky things you could do. Because you could force the Nor, and then you could like send the guy they were gonna Nor away anyway, and then they're affected at that point. So you could it was cute, and it offered a lot of like niche outs in theory to almost every deck. But I think Eclipse is just more coverage, and the thing I like about Eclipse is it actually insulates your plays as well, because Emergency can tribute face down monsters on res, so you'll summon and you'll tribute. Well, it checks the tribute engrave. So you can activate Airlifter, they can imperm it, you can book it, and then it'll search Emergency, and then you can Emergency away the face down Airlifter. So it was a good way to insulate the combo lines. It stops cats, it has a lot of good coverage. It just got ashed every time, and I mean maybe that is because it's high impact, higher impact, and like the deck really couldn't handle it, so they would burn an ash on it. Again, just super unfortunate. Every time they ashed this card, they either had a second ash, or I had a hand that played through ash anyway. It's like baiting the ash wasn't even particularly good. I had a very strange kind of convoluted tournament experience. The extra deck, the main combo. This is the order you do it. This playing this combination of cards in this order guarantees combo through any one hand trap. I pretty much just psycho combo every time. I used to kind of like go back and forth on playing through a hand trap, or I mean every time I open the 2-card combo, this is what I do. But I used to kind of like end on SP or make a more reserved board, and I just got tired of people are like maining Feather Duster now, and I got tired of just getting blown out by random like main decked 1-ofs. So I just go for the full combo every time, and if I get nibbed, like I still set 4. It's
Ain't
just
rocking with that boy Turbulence no more.
Yeah. So whatever comes, but I just psycho combo pretty much every time. This is the correct order to play through exactly 1 hand trap. Depending on your hand, you can play through 2.
That boy go wide.
Yeah. There was one game where my Unchained opponent was on 1 card in hand. I leaned over to Austin. I said, I broke his board. I like imperm his rage. I normal summon my level 3 warrior, the impulse. I normal summon impulse. Turn off both of his guys. His deck does nothing at that point. Start blowing stuff up, and I go, all right, I had some extenders. I said, all right, Austin, do I like psycho combo, hope he doesn't have nib, or do I just like put some damage up, like end on an SP? And he goes, he better have it. And so 1 card in his hand, I psycho combo all the way up to this point, and he nibs me. I'm like, okay, we still like set 4. We're probably still okay. Pass back to him. He top decks Feather Duster, slams Feather Duster. And so I lost that game.
Yep, that would be the life.
But yeah, that was just kind of my tournament experience. Like, I was just all really hard fought. It felt like old Yu-Gi-Oh! I was like, if I won a dice roll, I bricked. I set 2 past. If I went full combo, they had 2 board breakers. If I opened droll, they had shifter. I mean, we fought through it. I mean, ultimately we finished third, and I only had 2 losses. But yeah, it was just like a really, really tough tournament for whatever reason.
Playing for his life.
Yeah.
He's in the mud.
Then just access code lines.
It's the prettiest access code line you ever seen.
Yeah. So obviously, I think I cut IP Masquerena. A lot of people are playing IP over one of these guys or over her. I just like being able to bring back Windwitch late games.
That card's crazy.
Yeah, I just like Windwitch, the Diabell Star Witch back, and just like restarting my whole engine. Because like once she hits the board again, and make Hydrant, we can start setting for her. I can access code. I can do everything in main phase 2, and I can kind of just reset the game state, but they have less life points and less resources this time. And then the last 2 is just an extra SP because you use 1 in your main combo to insulate your turbulence. So I think the second one comes up. And then Typhon. Yeah, I'm starting to be on the fence about this card. I've talked about it in the past where I feel like this card in simplified game states is really good. You just kind of slam it. It allows a Zeus. It does a lot of things. But honestly, I don't think I've made it in a very long time. And I'm starting to believe this could probably be any other card. In theory, this card will win you games that no other card would ever win you. But I don't know at this point that it comes up enough. If I find a more valuable card, I'll definitely swap it out. But this card might be on the out. For the side, Druis, Unchained. Predominantly Unchained. It has a lot of crossover dragons. I played a Dragon Link, and then we got into a Bestial War, and this ended up allowing me to kind of pull ahead, keep him off Magma. And,
Deep down it's always for tier.
Tier. Obviously, it's for tier. Yeah. I have a whole tier. Hate package in here. Every time I drew this, I was under shifter. I resolved it exactly 1 time. It was against a Dragon Link player. I won that game. But I stared at it for 3 out of the 4 games I drew it. So
I love staring at droll. This is cute.
Yeah. Lancia. This is for Rescue Ace predominantly, and against certain like rogue matchups, it has like
cooks Bestial Horus.
It cooks some certain things, and it comes up randomly where like trap decks will side in evenly matched, and you can just kind of like you can use your D-Save Worm to interact early with their plays and know that if they slam into battle phase, they're not gonna get any value. But against some decks, I just draw phase, activate that, and keeps them off prosperity. It has some decent coverage. I'm not sure that this is the best allocation for this slot, but I like not being able to be even lead, and I like catching my rescue opponent trying to activate, searching in turbulence, and then just slam this. They can't get to turbulence, they can't get to preventer, and they're in a very awkward situation because they started their turnout with a very different line in mind. The rest of my tier hate, I felt like 5 again was the correct number. Anytime I'm siding in, I side in a lot of sets of 5. So, and then if I go first, I go ahead and put that in. But I just really want to keep them off their fusions. This is good into Pearly. This is a decent going first card. This could probably be something else.
See, I'm a Valor hater, but I'm a Crow lover.
Yeah, this could probably be something else. And then just respecting back row, Centurion, good coverage all around. So, that's... I've been trying this out. I haven't really drawn it yet. I couldn't really tell you how it's going to go, but I just feel like this just kind of respects Centurion, respects some back row decks.
Bonkers.
Yeah. can out like a skill drain or something. So in theory, it's good. But
Cosmic's also good. It hits like My Friend and HQ and all sorts of shit.
This is good into Unchained as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, mainly coming into it, I knew a lot of people were going to be trying out the Centurion deck, and I just wanted some answers. So any of these cards are answers for Centurion.
Should have said it earlier.
What?
Big Stinky here is the answer for Centurion.
Kinda. So they'll just kill him, but it does make you live a turn. It does keep you from getting OTK'd. But yeah, if you just slam this against Centurion, you can live one turn, which is not. That's not nothing. But again, I don't know that this card is as valuable as something like an IP. But anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it. We ended up finishing X2. We finished 3rd place, and it was a fun tournament experience. I think there was somewhere around 30 teams. The team that beat us ended up winning the whole thing. I think they went undefeated, so congratulations to them. But
Them goo boys.
yeah, but yeah, that's it. We'll catch you next time.
Alrighty.